today's video, we want to consider a topic: acid. Now, when we talk about acid, by definition, a lot of scientists put their input in defining what acid is. And number one of the scientists called Arrhenius. Arrhenius. Arrhenius defined acid as a substance that increases the concentration of hydrogen ion in aqueous solution. Are you following? Arrhenius, this man, defined acid as a substance that increases the concentration of hydrogen ion in aqueous solution. We also have another scientist called Bronsted. Bronsted, this Bronsted define acid as a substance that donates proton, a substance that donates what? Proton, that donate hydrogen ion. That is his own definition. We also have this man Lewis. Lewis defined acid as electron acceptor. Do you get that? So all this one, they gave their input on the definition of what? Of acid. But in a nutshell, just take this definition that I want to give you now. Now, acid is a substance which, when dissolved in water, produces an hydrogen ion. You get that? A substance which, when dissolved in water, produces what? A hydrogen ion as the only positive ion. You get that? A substance which, when dissolved in water, produces hydrogen ion as the only positive ion. Do you get that? Now, we have acid is divided or is classified into two major groups. Classes of acid. Classes of acid. Now, we have one, organic acid. Organic acid and inorganic acid. We have organic acid and inorganic acid. When we talk about organic acid is a type of acid that is gotten from plants and animal material or products. Okay, a type of acid that is gotten from plant and animal material or what? Products. So any acid that you get it from plants, either plant or animal products or animal material, they are called organic acid. Do you get that? Organic means living. Okay, anything you say organic, organic is living. So any acid that is gotten from this plant and animal materials, they are called organic acid. And such we have example like ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid is gotten from vinegar. Vinegar. Ethanoic acid is gotten from vinegar. We also have ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is gotten from orange. Okay, from orange. We have citric acid. Citric acid. Citric acid is gotten from lime and lemon. Lime and lemon. We have lactic acid. Lactic acid. This lactic acid is gotten from milk. We have amino acid. Okay, of course you know that amino acid is gotten from proteins. Okay, we also have other acid which you might not see it here for the worth of time. So these are the various classes of organic acid. Those acids that are gotten from plants and animal products or material are called what? Organic acid. Is that understood? Now we now go into inorganic acid. Now inorganic acid is a type of, or you call this inorganic acid a mineral acid. These are acids that are manufactured in the laboratory. Okay, these are acids that are manufactured in the where? In the laboratory. Okay, like example, we have tetraoxosulfacic acid, we have triazonitrile acid, we have hydrochloric acid, and so on and so forth. All this one, they are inorganic acid because they are manufactured in the laboratory. Is that understood? Now, how do I identify that a compound, this compound is an acid? How do I identify that this compound is an acid? Now take notes. How do I identify that this compound is an acid? Now, for you to know a compound, if you see a compound like this, how do I know that this compound is an acid? Now, the rule of knowing how a compound is an acid is one. You must know that any compound that start with hydrogen, any compound that start with hydrogen is an acid, except when hydrogen is directly bond with what? With oxygen. I repeat, any compound that start with hydrogen first, for instance now, like this one, you see this one, they all started with what? Hydrogen. So when hydrogen is connected or directly linked first with other element, that compound is what? An acid, except in the case of when hydrogen is directly linked with what? Oxygen. It's first linked with, like now, HCl is first, O2. This is not an acid, this is water. Okay, we also have H2O2. This one hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so this one now, they are directly linked. I'm not talking about maybe a compound coming first before now linked with oxygen. No, I'm talking about first you must see hydrogen first before oxygen. That compound is not an acid. But when you see a compound hydrogen first before any other one follows, that compound is an acid. Is that understood? Like in the case of, you can see something like, of course, all this one you can see first here. Then we also, that is number one rule. You can see something HF, HI, H2S. All this one, they are what? Are all acid. Okay. Now, another rule for you to know a compound is an acid is that when that compound have a carboxylic group, a carboxylic functional group, that compound is an acid. For example, COOH. This is a carboxylic functional group. Carboxylic functional group is COOH. So when that compound has this carboxylic functional group, that compound is an acid. Is that understood? So like this one now is an acid. We also have, you can see a compound like this, OOH. All this one is what? They are all acid. Like this one is what? They are all what? Acid. Example, we have ethanoic acid, methanoic acid. All those one, so far they have this functional group attached to them, they are all acid. Is that understood? That is how to identify whether a compound is an acid or not. So any compound that has hydrogen in front of it, exception of when hydrogen is directly bound with oxygen, that compound is not an acid. But when it's bounded with another element outside oxygen, that compound is what? An acid. That is where or how you can identify an acid. Is that understood? The next thing we are going to look at before we end this video is basicity of an acid. Basicity of an acid. What do you mean by basicity of an acid? Basicity of an acid. Now, when we talk about basicity of an acid, we are talking about the number of replaceable hydrogen ion in one molecule of that acid. The number of replaceable hydrogen ion, this is the replaceable hydrogen ion present in one molecule of an acid is what we call basicity of an acid. Basicity of an acid is the number of replaceable hydrogen ion present in an acid, present in a molecule. That is what we call basicity of an acid. Now, for instance, now, how many hydrogen ion are here? Of course, here is only one. You are only seeing one. So the basicity of this acid is what? Is 1. Do you understand? How about this one? This one, how many hydrogen ion are here? We have 2. Hydrogen here is 2. So it means that the basicity of this ion compound is what? 2. How about this one? The basicity is what? 2. This one is what? The basicity is what? 1. This one, the basicity is what? 1. So the number of replaceable hydrogen ion in that molecule is what we call basicity of an acid. So if you are giving an example for those who will be writing down, they can give you a compound like this and ask you what's the basicity of this acid, of this compound. So the basicity is that number of hydrogen ion present in that acid. Okay, so for instance, I give you something like H3PO4. What is the basicity of this compound? Now drop it on the comment section. what is the basicity of this compound? Like I said, the basicity of an acid is a number of replaceable hydrogen ion present in that molecule. Okay, so drop this one and also drop the basicity of this acid, H3COOH. What's the basicity of this compound and this compound? Drop it on the comment section. Thank you for all.